Hey.
Cheers
Cheers.
to my good friend Ruben, no, from Davao DeFi community.
Thank you sa pag-visit.
Ang Katalunan, part din siya ng Davao.
Actually, Takunan to.
Takunan.
Oo,
Part siya ng
Takunan.
Davao pa rin.
Part rin ng Davao, pero parang barangay Takunan.
Dapat meron ka rin TDC.
DDC.
Ay,
TCC? Takunan.
TDC.
TDC.
Oo,
Takunan
TDC.
DeFi Community.
Dapat magbuhat na pudkaan.
Fragmented na kayo.
Anyway, wala mi wala na mi nakapaabot. Nag-inom na jud mig beer. Okay, magdugay kay mong setup. Anyway, we're here at the Deca Wake Park. Ang tawag ito? Davao. So ito yung siya mga nag-ano dito, wakeboarding, no?
Wakeboarding, yes. So, sports niya actually.
So matagal na pala to, akala ko ngayon lang. Tinanong ko man din yung may-ari, sabi niya, dugay-dugay naman pud mi diri. So syempre taga Jansan pud mi, wala mi aware nga na. So I don't know if makita niyo niya sa background na yung mga nag-wakeboarding diri, which is fun. Pero I want to start this off sa isa ka story nga gusto na ako i-share kay brother Ruben. It's a story na dungog na ako the other day or kagahapon while traveling going back to Jansan from Palimbang from a podcast from PBD podcast. So I'll read this story to you and I want to hear your thoughts on this one. No?
Okay.
As Ruben is family man, 'di ba? God-fearing, nag-serve talaga. So kumbaga dako siya impact ba? Feel nako mag-relate ni siya or kumbaga this is a story that he could appreciate, no, or to remind him about life. So since this is a game of life, so, wala pa nabasa mo na siya konti, no?
Wala yun.
Sige.
Kamay lang. So
Sige,
bring
sige.
it on.
Sige. So this story it's worth the read. No, I'll read this a bit slowly para ma-digest natin properly ba
Sige.
yung data niya dito. So, I'm 85 years old and somehow I woke up in a 36-year-old body just for one day. No? This time, I knew what to treasure. Okay? I hear a tiny voice before I open my eyes. Mama, wake up. I blink. He's standing there, bedhead, pajama pants too short. My little boy, he's small again. He climbs into bed with me, laughing. He wraps his arms around my neck. I used to check the clock, rush the morning, but today, I'll not do that. Today, I will hold him tight, long, deep. I walk to the mirror. No gray, no wrinkles. No aches in my knees. Just me, 36. Tired but strong. I whisper, you didn't know how radiant you were, but you were. I walk into the kitchen. He's sitting at the table. Legs swinging, cereal spilling. I used to wipe the milk too fast, but today I sit, I laugh, I talk about Spider-Man. The kitchen floor is sticky. Legos underfoot, socks on the counter. I used to sigh, feel behind, get frustrated. But now, I stand still and just soak it all in. My son chatters all through breakfast, stories about superheroes and questions about monsters. This time, I listen, really listen. No phone, no distractions, just him and his beautiful voice. Curious voice. In the car, he sings loudly, kicks the seat, spills his snack. I used to snap. Now, I smile and enjoy the moment. Because one day, this seat will be empty. And I'll miss this noise. In the evening, I pick up the phone and hear my mom's voice. Tears filled my eyes before I said a word. I forgot how much comfort lives in her voice. We talk about nothing, the weather, what she is cooking, but it means everything. I tell her I love her again and again and again. I don't want to hang up. At bedtime, I didn't rush. He picks his favorite superhero book, the one I've read 100 times. Tonight, I read every single word slowly. And then I ask, one more? He nods. I don't want this night to end. He whispered, you're the best, Mom. I hold his small hand, kiss his soft cheek, whisper how proud I am. He lashes flutter, his chest rises and falls, and I just watch, soaking it all in. Tomorrow, I'll wake up again, 85. And he'll be grown, busy, bigger, out of this world. Tonight, I got this precious moment, and now I know this was joy, this was love, this was everything. If you made it this far, slow down today. It all matters more than we realize. When I heard this story, man, good, mga gusto na ko siya i-share sa imuha. It's something that, ano ba, I'm not 85 years old or something. But it's just to remind you ba, no, na do not, kumbaga, take everything too seriously, no? Kaya sometimes we don't know our kids will grow up in just, di ba, a blink of an eye.
Hindi ka pa na eh.
It's crazy.
Dali, ragid kayo ang time.
So, yung narinig mo yan, anong, reaction to it?
Actually, ang reflection is ang kinabuhi yun, snapshot siya, inana siya kadali. And one thing mang good is we never imagine time because we're really busy and hooked up sa mga butang na we're trying to navigate. Pero on the context of, like for example, I've been thinking most of the time, lately actually, diba, we can hear daghang mga prominent actors, actresses, and even like for example mga inventors na sikat for the past like century din nangamatay sila lately. Sa Gunson actually, na sila Nora Honor, sila Kuan, Freddy Aguilar. Diba, grabe, imagine, wapo kailangan Kuan. Pero, I mean, if you really can really imagine no, na ang tao, we're just really temporary on this onset.
Borrowed time lang ba, no?
Borrowed time na yun tayo. In the sense na whatever things we do, we try to make healthy as possible. Tanan mga vitamins and whatever. Then we try to the nicest ka ng mga things na pwede na itong acquire sa atong kinabuhi. But in the end time, we become naked. All alone. Kaysa to ang kamatayon, solo ramigid ta on our own. So kana na realization, it comes with a big question. Unsa man gyud dapat nako buhaton o kabisihan for the rest of my life na inana ra man day ko kadali. When you say like for example to the minimum siguro medically, like for example medical situation sa average death rate ang pinakatigula bihira na siguro makabutog 98 karon it's a bonus already. Kay kasagaran mga 50, 60, 70 na nagani mga major na mga
lifespan ng tao.
Na mga sakit diba na ma-feel na inana, then constrained na ang activity, then kuan na going to kuan na gyud. So nanay mga serious illness. Of course, we cannot roll out na ang death is towards old lang kay nga matay ng mga bata po. So meaning in the contrary, in the long run, in a snap, pwede gyud mabag-o imong life by time. Wala gyud kay hold. So mo nang ginaingon na focus on the things you can control.
Right.
And ang life nimo is you cannot really control kung kanusa ka pwede ma-snap no. So kana gwapo siya na reflection gyud sa scenario. And mo to it begs to another big question lagi, unsa akong buhaton for the rest of my life na inani ra man day kadali gyud ay. And sa katon na scenario, I heard something na moto dito to nako na is a reflective personal reflection po nako. So naay nag-ingon sa kuan na kani daw tanang ginabuhat nato. It's just all means to an end. When you say means to an end, kani siya tanan mga ginabuhat nato reflective sa atong katapusan. Etong end ba? Kung unsay mong gusto na how things, how friends, how family look at you by end of time. Like for example, pag ikaw maabot na ka sa moment na inana na sitwasyon. So, unsa man maningkamot ka to achieve something or maningkamot ka to create experience or maningkamot ka for a change sa imong sarili, to the family, to the community, to the country, to the whole world. Kana mangarap ka na ikaw may something na kay ma-contribute na aspect. So, in correlation sa inana, mao nang isa gyud sa driving factor nako why I really love what I'm doing now. In spite to the scenario, to be honest, way back sa katong career times nako. Kung sa career times nako, I can really say na I'm in a comfortable situation. Okay, of course, I work hard to be paid, and of course, inana monetary aspect of family. But when I finally decided na, and it's not a snap decision, but nakita na ko ba na murag diri para diri man ko, murag I mean I want to do something ba of my life rather than working for the rest of my life lang gani. So mo to community really deflects a lot of kanang attributes na inspire ko na inana. Pero of course, reality strike niambak ko ani with the concept of like very passionate, pero ang realidad will really slap you na dili inana kasayon. Lisod jud kay I mean I struggle a lot. Pero now struggle gives meaning gani na kanang why you struggle because you want this or something outright from it na that might resonate dili lang sa kanina kinabuhi kundi
Sa future.
future and across kanang ginatawag nato na spiritual
Right.
na gani na aspect. So do good things, be good person, inana na concept.
I admire that ingato ka mag-isip no kay recent pud ako nga naisip is that kato siya syempre nibalik siya sa time. Nag-reflect siya, di ba? I-appreciate niya katong mga na-miss out niya before.
Correct.
But in those time you cannot blame her as well. Kay katong nga time pod we don't know kung unsa siyang unsa nag-struggle sa iyang life.
Personal.
Mao tong gi-sacrifice niya eh. 'Di ba? Gi-sacrifice niya in time para sa future pod sa iyang anak. 'Di ba? It makes sense. We need to kumbaga appreciate everything na nangyayari sa buhay natin, but let's be honest, sometimes it doesn't work that way.
Oh, correct.
Kailangan na talaga balance, 'di ba?
Balance.
Or it makes sense din na sometimes yung iba rin kasi nakafocus na sa ano ba, sa work that they forgot how to live, no? They kept on working hard, no? To have a better life in the future, but in the end, ang dami niyang na-miss out.
Correct. I
So,
think
it's all about balance for me. I think it's okay na struggle ka ngayon for a bit. Reward system lang rin ba na kasi hindi yun nga as we talk about it, bigla na lang yun sila maglaki ng mga anak natin, hindi natin napansin.
then you're not holding your life, di ba? Anytime pwede ka
Exactly.
mawala.
Pwede kita i-ask niyan kasi ako himalig ako mag-ask na ito ng question na to. Yung i-ask ko kay Karen ng first namin na interview. Are you afraid to die?
Of course. Number one, normal gina siya sa kung sa tawhanon na aspect, I'm afraid in the sense na dili ko ready spiritually, because kung tan-awon mo gud nimo ang level of readiness, like for example on the aspect of spiritual scenario, like for example I'm a Catholic by birth, ako ang pamilya. So, sa teaching sa Catholic is being close to God is really somehow like trying to build, murag magbuhat og kanang spiritual career ba. Dili ang tao magud karon kung tan-aw nimo, busy kayo sa kanang ginatawag nato na kanang secular na career na we want to be CEO, we want to be what. Then kung tan-aw daw na sa reflective sa scenario, human as we are composed of physical and spiritual. So, busog ka imong spiritual pero malnourished ang imong physical busog, imong spiritual malnourished. So kung tan-awon nimo siya, meaning naa na siya level of hierarchy daw na you're trying to be like become holy. Of course, God itself is holy man siya, no? So kana na aspect pa lang kung tan-aw na ko na siya, murag dayo man ko sa kumbaga beginners ba ko newbie. And if ever mag-snap ka na inana, would you think na ready ka to face, like for example sa kanang ginabilib nato na inana. So kana isa sa mga realization mao na siya ang fear na worthy na ba ko, na andam na ba ko. I think everyone would say dili andam. Kay kung mayon ganito na kinsa man tong kuan kanang gusto mo adtog langit, daghan kay mag-hands up. Pero kinsa gusto mauna, wa hands up. Hadlock tanan mauna. Pero to be honest, kung tan-aw nimo logically, ang langit is the culmination sa tanan natong ginabuhat, di ba? Pero everyone would not kay murag okay na enshrine ta diri sa kanina physical world, of course. Diri ta na naglive. Pero siguro sa kuha, dili na kay nako gina-stress out akong sarili na to be that, but the good thing is like for example kung tan-awon pa nimo sa physical aspect, wag na kay exposure ba, both ends. You're being busy diri sa physical na buluhaton, like for example sa career nimo or sa mga community nimo kanimo, napo kayo dapat balance pod sa katong nimo na balance sa spiritual side. Kailangan ka kumbaga kung sa term pa maging sigurista ba. Sigurista ka na pag-abot sa katapusan katong ginaingon na means to an end, sa end na kay pangbato dito. You can reason ba na na ba I did these things naman.
That's wise.
Eventually, and na gani dili kay makot up ka na busy dahil ka sa physical niya. Payon unsa day mga nabuhat nimo? Ma-post ka dito, di ka karason. So sa inang na aspect, it's not being kanang kuan, kanang tawag kanang overthinking in the sense. Pero kailangan maging sigurista gyud ta siguro. Like if ever you really believe as a kanang spiritual life na in the context of religion. But in the sense of kanang sa atong pagpuyo diri as a tatohanon, I think everyone really wants to succeed in the level of monetary. Of course, heavily monetized na ang kalibutan. I mean, every do's and don'ts, kwarta, kadaliho, expense, di ba?
Totoo yan.
So, munang ang tao is really driven, mura siya mechanism na kailangan mo generate as much as wealth para makasuffice sa needs sa kon. And kung tanaw na to, like, for example,
sa ano niya, baga depende sa goal mo ba on how to use those money rin.
Mao gyud. Inana po in the long term kay kung like for example, if I set an example, anong ang mga billionaire really still wants more? Na kung tan-aw nimo ang ilahang wealth, maski kalingkingan na apo, kaya na buhion ang ilahang wealth. Because there's something evolving there nganong ang tao.
I think they just have too much money. That means they have too much time. Because money is used to buy time, di ba? We work in exchange of our time.
Correct.
To gain money. So, kumbaga, since marami na silang pera, they can do whatever they want. And then at the same time, when I look at these billionaires, mga ganyan, most of them ay mga charity man talaga, di ba? Give back.
Mga philanthropists.
Normal talaga, kumbaga, it's like something na we can't blame them din na to the point that some people kasi would think that billionaires are like the evil people, di ba?
Ang
mga ganyan din kasi too much money will change you, ganyan. No, but kung isipin mo rin, kung if ever you think, tingnan mo sarili mo sa salamin and then you think, imaginein mo na billionaire ka, would you do the same with them, like what they're doing, di ba? Well, for example, when you do a charity, all you do is, for example, sa atin, yung ginagawa natin, community. Okay? Para mas relatable. Sa atin is, we're doing this for free, di ba? Advocacy natin to help other people, to connect them with the right job, mga ganito, ganyan. But, in reality, if we don't make money out of it, hindi tayo mag-grow.
We'll struggle din.
Oo. So, it's hard to do a non-profit organization na tayo-tayo lang by the heart. We need business.
Correct.
Kaya para mas marami pa tayong matulungan. Diba? So parang ganun din yung perspective ko regarding that one.
No, I think I agree. Importante din siya. Of course, reality strikes nga na kailangan we need to fill in our bags and our pocket para we can do more.
Yeah. Diba? Para ano ba? How can you help other people when you can't help yourself?
Correct.
Diba? How can you share them this vision that you can live your life to the fullest if you yourself can't afford to buy you a decent meal. Parang ganun, di ba?
So I think kung tan-awon, we're already halfway there kay ang pag-fill in na lang sa bags na naman ang ato ang intention in ang atong passion to help the community.
Pera na lang.
So may mga karta para fill in then would probably complete our actions na pwede na to makuhan.
It's good. It's quite interesting na ganun yung approach mo. I mean, kasi parang nakita ko ngayon, you balance mo, parang binabalance mo lang talaga rin ang life mo ba, di ba? Physical, I mean, you're in a good shape. No, commendable. You're working with your passion right now. And then you're building your spiritual.
Being
diba? Relationship or ano ba ng dyan. So it's like something na kumbaga there are people din ba yan who doesn't believe in God.
Correct.
No? So how do we, I don't know, because if you put some logics, even Joe Rogan will say there's God, diba? There's always a creator.
Correct.
Hindi man sa same belief natin, but there's
one superior being who...
Tapos ngayon naman, going back dun sa initial natin na topic, which is yung about that. For me, kasi yung times din na, yung mga hard times ko rin ba, na I felt lost and like I tried to hurt myself and everything. I mean, it's not nice to share this one, but I mean, maybe someone can relate.
Really,
no?
Definitely.
The moment that na I surrendered everything kay God, sabi ko, He gave us free will. It's us to decide, diba? It's for us to decide on what to do in life. But for me, I asked Him for His will because that's stronger. Diba? Kumbaga nagka-contradict siya sa akin For example, may free will tayo, but thy will be done pa rin tayo, diba? Parang, why do we need to choose our own will? For me lang, akin to Kaya napunta ako sa point na, okay, whatever I do, I mean, this is not what God is telling me to do, no? Kaya may free will talaga tayo, so it's up to us. So if ever may magawa akong mga masama, I mean, at the end of the day, basta importante sa akin, mag-sorry ako. No? I have a really good relationship with God. For me, even though I'm a very sinful man, siyempre tayo, mga tao man taga tayo. So may mga magawa rin tayo mga masama, like, I don't know, diba? Gambling or some shit. And then, but at the end of the day, if I die anytime soon, no regret ako to the point that I respect His decision. Kunin niya na ako. So I'll just, kapag hindi good ako ready, let's say, no one's ready, di ba? No one's ready man. Kahit sa opportunity, bigla lang mag-offer sa nila, ready ka na ba to take this career mo na to the next level? Hindi ka man ready niyan. Di ba? No one is prepared for these opportunities and stuff like that. So in the negative part din, kung ganun na part, wow, ano pa ba gawa mo? Kaya for me, I tried to accept it as early as possible to the point that mas hindi ako nalilimit sa actions ko ba. Kasi I already accepted what's gonna happen. So kumbaga, the way I think is I focus on if this worst case scenario ng isang decision ko nangyari tapos I can still live with it, then try ko mag-take ng risk.
Correct.
Gawin ko to. But if yung worst case scenario na yun, hindi ko kayang tanggapin, hindi ako mag-push ng ganun na decision. Ganun ako mag-think. Para every time na mag-succeed yung ginawa ko, lahat yan, benefit na. Kasi expected mo, hindi ka man expect din. Kasi ako nag-follow tayo ako ng law of attraction. Hindi ko siya gina-wish na yung worst case scenario, but accepted ko yung worst case scenario.
May level of acceptance.
So acceptance lang ba? Kasi yung mga tao rin kasi I think nagkakaroon ng depression, anxiety dahil dyan, hindi nila matanggap, no?
Correct.
So doon sila na-stuck ba? Doon sila nawawala ng opportunity kasi there are people, I'm not successful, di ba? To the point na in terms of money. But I believe I am successful in a way na I can decide for my own. Di ba? If I want to do this, I can do it on time. Di ba? Ganun ba? So kasi parang ganun ba? It's like some people are being held back because of they're afraid to fail.
Overthinking,
yes.
Ganon, things na. I think very relevant na because kumbaga, isa sa mga pinaka widely spread and hidden to the public, isang kanang challenge sa mental health. Daghan jud daw nagasuffer og inana karon, to be honest. Like for example kanang gingon nimo na depression. Delikado kay na siya actually, diba? Medical and kuan. So daghan nagasuffer ana in the sense, pero sa ako I think everyone experience it.
Yes.
Ang imuha na lang yung how you able to manifest
Overcome, no? Or you
siya.
talk to the right people din. I believe it's also important. Kaya community natin ang laking tulong.
Collective na
Minsan may
thoughts,
ma-share akong
information.
stranger about my life. And then, minsan makarelate pala siya, ganito, ganyan. Diba? Tapos may ma-lesson ka ma-catch up. It's just
Correct.
something na ano ba?
Actually, di ba, sometimes you experience na unexpected people dito hinong ka makakuha og ka ng
Yes!
gwapo na thoughts na
Kaya
how
ganun,
you
diba, before this podcast,
Mm.
nag-talk tayo about like what do we do, mga ganun. It's like, isa rin to sa reason why I love to do this podcast. Kasi dahil nakaka-learn ako from other people.
Other people.
Kahit saan mo pa ako ilagay sa mundo, kahit mga stranger, mga kasama ko, I'll make a friend out of it. You know, confident sa communication skills, no? Because I like to learn, kumbaga. I love to hear stories. Ito yung stories kanina, narinig ko lang rin kay PBD. Like, what?
Magana, no?
Diba?
There's a deep sense ba of
Oo.
na mapaisip ka din
Oo.
if this will happen to you or
Oo.
ano yung perspective mo with regards to that. So I think gwapo yun na ako po I mean before nung back on my IT days most of the four corners na yun sa balay nana, then of course close friends nana. Now pag abot sa community it really widens. Daghan kay kag ma-interact na tao and you appreciate more life.
Exactly.
Okay, I mean, these people exist. This scenario exists, nana. So makayong kalo, wow. I mean, of all my suffering behind myself, naaday beautiful things outside from me po na nag-exist. So why not? Why so sad? I need to uplift myself.
Everyone has their own battles. Yan talaga.
Correct.
May kanya-kanya talaga tayong struggle. Kaya, as much as possible, go out. Kaya kapag magstay ka talaga in your four corners, reality will hit you. Ang depression, thinking about the past, the mistakes, the regrets that you did. And if naman overthinking, it will cause you anxiety, fear that will drive you crazy. Thinking about this, what if this will happen, blah blah blah. And then if you're just living the moment, diba? It's more relaxing. Kasi no one can predict the future.
Exactly,
Diba?
correct. I agree kung I try to drag that up as a spiritual na aspect. Ang Lord's Prayer, ang prayer na gi-teach ni Christ dito, our daily bread. It's not our bread the next week, our bread in the next year. Meaning,
Wow!
what you have
Gusto
now.
ko yan. Alam mo bakit ko doon sa dahil din sa Our Father. Doon ko nakuha yung di ba, thy will be done. Nag-share tayo ng ganyan.
Correct.
There was this Facebook friend of mine, taga Davao din. She posted, yun nga, yung realization niya, bakit pa tayo mag-push ng free will natin? Ang gusto naman natin isang thy will be done, di ba? Yung in His God's will. So, doon ako na-realize, bitaw no? Nabasa ko yun, doon nag-change. Doon siguro nag-flip ang buhay ko na, I am very, kumbaga, advocate sa law of attraction. I practiced that since 2013. Nung nabasa ko yung book ni Rhoda, The Secret. Grabe, predict taga ako ng sabi ko, attract mo taga to, ganyan, which is I'm still doing. Pero yung to the point na mapaisip ka ng question mismo, yung bakit pa tayo may free will na meron palang God's will, anong pipiliin mo? Ako talaga, God's will agad. No, wala akong kaya para, hindi man sa ka rin takot ka magkaroon ng responsibility or accountability, di ba? It's just something, it's more relaxing na knowing na this is His will.
Correct.
Di ba?
Yung burden mo, parang
Oo.
inasa mo sa Kanya.
Exactly.
Siya na yung captain, ikaw yung
Exactly.
mag-captain. I mean, that's really relevant actually kung titingnan mo sa context with regards to like for example how you navigate your life, rinana. So pero I think things happen bad, lesson we learn really forms at us then eventually in the
Oo.
long run. In a
That's part
more
of life.
there are many things na why I have done this. Then kung I cannot fully understand. Puro siya ka ng mystery ba? It's a mystery. Then fast forward times,
Which is, kapag i-change mo yung perspective mo dyan,
ana na ay
sabihin mo,
Ah.
oy, God's will man to.
correct.
He's preparing me for a
Something.
bigger na something. Di ba?
At present, you cannot understand.
Yes.
Kay dito man pero kailangan like for example ba, naay kanin light. Kailangan na ka mo ana para medyo mahayag. Kay ngit-ngit diri banda.
Dili di ang gwapong angle. Agad. Mo gani,
Agree.
it's something na, ano ba? I don't know. This kind of conversations is, kumbaga, what I really like is sometimes, ito yung understanding ko. And then, share ako sa'yo ng ganitong story. And then, iba yung pagkaintindi mo dyan. Ngayon, na-open up mo sa akin yung possibilities nun. Which will bring me to a better situation. Kasi now I can decide which one should I choose. Di ba? Kumbaga, that's why one of the reasons din that I like to have this kind of podcast is because these type of arguments, ay kumbaga, there are times ba yan na, ayoko lang rin talaga ng ganito ha. In the future, God, siguro gusto ko mag-argue rin tayo. To the point ng isang discussion ba na I believe in this one and then you believe in this one.
Where contrast.
Tapos mag-learn tayo from each other. Yung iba kasi, takot makipag-argue kasi syempre over relationship. Pero if you are matured enough to understand each other, hear, 'di ba, makinig tayo sa isa't isa, then baka decide tayo kung ano takang tama.
Siguro
That's how human evolves.
rather than debate, dialogue.
Pwede.
Dialogue, at least
Pero mas masaya, di
you
ba?
have your negative and positive na setup.
That's nice, that's nice.
Pero sa ako in my experience really, like for example, I want to share din sa end ko. Yung I mean for being active like for example sa church na being active really influence the bigger decision na why really nganong dako siya o butang or what we call it really matters why I really pursue community building. Yung karon ba inani? So, for personally I think
Sige, what's your motivation on doing that? Part man siguro yun share mo.
So, kuan kanang reflective gyud siya in the sense na I need to go out and to share my skills to others ba. It's not about my family only and my dreams and then how about sharing it to others? Then of course I don't know what's the output. Kumbaga katong gingon ako sa we discussed before na kung unsay present tanaw na to unsay yang reflective and I experienced that sa community because we've been 3 years already, di ba? So na ang output, kalisod, kalipay, kalibog, naatanan. So kung tanaw nimo siya in the context na medyo ko like zoom out on the higher perspective, life is beautiful kay na may ups and down and daghang kanang na challenges ba. It's not about flat line na inani. So I'm truly convinced na I'm going to double down and the same time kanina gyud siguro ang ako ang path. Murag kanina akong path. Of course naay mga kanang ginatawag nato na devil's advocate gamay. Like for example, ang devil's advocate may siya na nitabok ka dira nawa mas naglisod ka hinuon karon. Inana na sinayo. Nitabok ka dira na dili ka prepare. Tanawa naggubot na hinuon nimo ang life. Usaw man na nimo karon. Nana ka sa maabot ka sa kanang gitawag nato na midlife crisis. Kaya na ang scenario. Pero the deeper meaning really like dissolve those katong mga
Sige daw, ngayon, do you have like regrets sa life? Do you have regrets sa life ngayon?
Lisod siya i-evaluate na when you say regrets. Regrets in the sense siguro kuan man good ang ako ang ang starter gyud sa akong life ba. grabe gyud kalisod.
Mm.
Kanina na gani. And kuan kanang so kato na struggle mao gid toy murag naging point of reference nako na I need to strive hard. And of course, na niabot to na of course na-accomplish na ko siya initially. I can say actually completely na siya kay sa time during my time was my mom was still alive. At least napafeel na ko siya ba naka-experience po siya og kanang arang-arang pod sa una kay grabe ka struggle man yun. Pero mingon lagi ka na ang kaning means na ni to an end dili siya necessary na flat line ka ng ana gid siya. So pwede ka taas karon bagsak na pud ka to zero. And mo nang ginaingon sa mga naga-quote no na even though you go to zero, at least dili gyud ka zero kay naka-experience naman ka, di ba? I fully agree with that. Of course, na naka-experience, then go high na pud ka.
Pero lahi po ng impact that you built an empire and then biglang ma-disappear.
Correct.
And just, di ba? Parang nawala yung effort mo.
I mean, you need to be human. Accept the pain and the suffering. Kailangan jud di mo i-accept na. Pero what's the good thing? Time really heals. Time na good. Time will really heal. It's like, for example, na scenario na, like, for example, how we're going to handle this financial crisis that we have. Inana, di ba? Pero by end of the day, the sun still set and the sun still rise.
Right.
So eventually, there will be changes along the way. Then, fast forward, tingnan ka, at that moment, murag tanaw na ako, imposible kayo, murag pasan na akong kalibutan. Pero karon nalampasan na ako na unknowingly collectively, nakaabot lagi din ko, nalampasan na ako.
Uy, gusto ko
Diba?
i-share yan sa'yo. Recently, I posted this na. Last year, around November, binasa ko yung first article na ginawa ko ever about law of attraction. So, way back 2014, diba, nabasa ko na yung book, 2013, tapos shinare na ng friend ko sa akin. Tapos ngayon, shinare sa mga friends ko, ganito, ganyan. Tapos no one's listening to me kasi nga, I'm a clown. No, kumbaga, no one's taking me seriously.
Ang gani.
Kumbaga, I just want everyone to have fun. Kaya sometimes, they misinterpret me ba? Na I have ideas, na may ano rin pala ako, may pulos, gumaga ganyan. So, ayun, the last November, ngayon ko pala na-post, nabasa ko yung article na ginawa ko. Nilagay ko yung 4 dreams ko doon.
Nice, okay.
Grabe, nag-goosebumps ako doon ba? Sabi ko, actually napaiyak to ako nung araw na yun. Kasi ako lang isa yun madaling araw, binasa ko ulit. Sabi ko, huy! Itong 4 na dream na to, nandito naman pala.
Okay.
So kapag, without me knowing, it's been years na pala na-accomplish ko na to.
Before, yun yung pinaka-perceived dream.
Yun ang taga-dream ko. Grabe ka pala ka-simple ng dream ko. Sabi ko, what? Kaya sabi ko ngayon, sige, this year, maggawa din ako ng second article about my next dream. Kaya it's something na kasi pag wala kang dream, pag wala kang purpose, no? Yung kapag, one of the motivator for me, as a community leader din, it's something that I experience, I don't know, I've experienced this many times, pero there are people that I can remember that I have helped these people.
Okay.
Which is why the reason later na yun. Yung pag-share nila sa akin na, because of you, nakakuha ako ng gig, ng work, na-change yung life ko. Sabi ko, what? Sabi ko, wow, grabe yung impact ng community.
Indirectly,
Hindi man natin sila tulungan money, di ba? Financially, but yung impact na binigay natin sa kanila, which is because ginawa rin na yan sa atin ng ibang tao. Di ba? Na-introduce tayo sa ganito. Sometimes, it's in a bad way, pero na-realize mo na bad yun siya. At least, ma-learn mo pa rin yun. Parang ganun. Anyway, going back, dun sa gusto ko i-point out na prayers. No? Actually, sorry guys, we really want to talk about wars and AI. Ito yung pinag-usapan namin. But this is a very interesting part, Manggod, na discussion. I love talking about this. No? So, my prayers. No? First is, kinakamusta ko si God. Na-share ko na ba ito sa'yo? I don't know.
Hindi pa.
So, kinakamusta ko si God. Kumbaga, sometimes, makaisip na ko, who am I to ask Him, diba? Because He's God, diba? Pero, I don't care. Gusto ko taga-kakamustahin ng Panginoon. So, ayan. Kasi naabot ako sa point na, yung pinanood ko yung kay Jim Carrey na movie, na I think Bruce Almighty.
Itong gipahiram siya.
Naging God siya.
Ah.
Tapos, kapagod pala yung mga prayers and everything. Sabi ko, what? Gitry ko rin mag-live ng ganun. Imagination lang ha. Sabi ko, what if I'm God? Wow, I can do everything, no? Pero boring at the same time. Parang kadaming problema ng mga tao, kadaming reklamo, gano'n, ganyan. Ngayon, inisip ko, sige, going back to myself, sabi ko, okay, kamustahin ko ang Panginoon. Alam kong pagod din yan. Even though He is the Almighty God. I don't know if napapagod ba yan siya or what, pero gusto ko lang talaga siya kamustahin. Then, naging closer ako sa Kanya. Hindi ko masyadong naririnig, pero sometimes JC tawag ko, ganyan. Yeah, what's up JC? Kamusta ka dyan? Ito yung nangyari sa akin ngayong araw. I made a mistake, blah, blah, blah. Ganito na naman. Ulit bukas, ito na naman siguro ma-expect mo. Pero aware ako ha, sa mga ginagawa ko. So, I want to change, sabi sa Kanya. So, I need help. Pero, I don't want to ask you for this. Kasi ang dami mo lang tinutulungan, inaasikaso. Anyway, so, yeah, diba, people has this pattern. Thank you. Sorry, apologize, and then lastly is wish. Diba? Alam mo yung pinalitan ko, yung sa wish, tinanggal ko ang wish. I never ask for anything na. That's why, if you can see me, I know, if you've met me before, iba yung energy ko compared ngayon. I feel more happier, energetic, spiritually active. I mean, I don't go to church every week and I don't serve like you. Pero I have this, kumbaga, feeling, no? That I'm, really good. I have a really good relationship with God. That's for me. So yun, ni-remove ko yung wish. Sabi ko, bakit ako mag-wish? Sabi ko nga, gusto ko God's will. Diba? Kasi ayoko rin siya mapagod, kumbaga, ganyan. And then, in the end, doon talaga masabi ko, why? Ba't naging ganito yung mga blessing? Sabi ko, basta ako, ready ako ha, kung mag-flip man ng world ko, ready ako. Sabi sa kanya, I'm strong enough, sabi ko. Yan lang sabi sa kanya, ready talaga ako. So, anything what will happen to me, I'm ready for everything. That's why I said also, I'm ready to die, parang ganun ba? Because I accept kung ano yung will niya for me. Yun yung akin. And then, doon din ako parang kumbaga, naging na feel much stronger. And I'm not afraid to try anything with my life.
Murag na embolden ka.
Yes. At the same time, pinaka-biggest ko lang siguro, if ever na wish, make me a tool. Yan lang taga-request ko sa Kanya. Gamitin mo ko, Lord, to help other people. Nothing else. Yan lang. I just want to help other people kasi that's also what brings me joy. Like what you do, di ba? As a community leader. It's fulfilling. Grabe ka fulfilling to see those smiles. Di ba?
Yan.
Damn.
The feeling, the fulfillment, it encompasses all the achievements that you have sa kanina mga senaryo ni Nani. So, that's why, I really decided to stick in.
I respect that.
I'll go for this. Kumbaga, kingingon pa nila na nanabon naman ko, maligo na ako isa kadram. Maligo na ako isa kadram.
Dang. Alright, before we move, at least maybe we could discuss maybe 15 minutes more regarding our main topic.
Mga recent.
Grabing introduction to guys, 1 hour.
Personal.
It's kasi it's something that I really love to talk about.
Reflective.
Yes.
Reflection.
So yeah, baka may gusto ka pang last na i-share about it and then we move forward to the next question. Topic.
Sige, sa akin siguro moto siya. I think it really, like for example, Magod, if you're trying to do something that you're really like passionate. When you say passionate, Magod, actually nakita na foresee po na ko na statement, like if you're really known that known that of course the CEO of Nvidia AI, di ba? Yana siya na why suffering is really needed.
Right.
Why really suffering? I-emphasize niya sa statement. Tinod gito siya na if you're really passionate, it does not really mean to an end na puro lang maayo ang things. You really need to be ready for sort of things, but it still boils down na kaning tanan ginabuhat nimo. This all means to an end. To the end goal na you could help others, amplify social works, And of course, I really love the technology, I really love the industry, and I want the industry to be mass adopted. I want to contribute on that. Even a 0.001% on the global aspect.
If it's just one person lang.
It means something already.
Oo.
So even though the industry does not give me the everything I need, it should not be a give and take.
Right.
I'll give what I can.
Wow. Respect. All right, I think let's move forward. Let's have a rush talk about this one. Trump is about to sign a bill with the Golden Dome. Are you familiar with that?
Golden Dome?
Yeah. Yung Iron Dome ng Israel.
Yes. Familiar.
Diba? Yung anti-rocket system nila. So they're planning to have it by the end of his term. I think it's around $175 billion na contract. And Canada is also going to participate in para maprotektahan din sila. So they call it the Golden Dome. And they started with 25 billion. So let me hear your thoughts on that one. Because ang reaction ng China is there's going to be an arms race eh. Diba? Bakit daw ginagawa yan? Diba? That means something's probably gonna happen, diba? So, sige, those information na shinare ko na sa'yo, give me your thoughts on why did Trump do that? And then will it escalate war? And your opinion na.
Sige, so I mean, I'm not an expert political, but
No, he is a war enthusiast.
war enthusiast. I just really love to follow yung mga...
Yes. Gusto niya lang talaga ng gera.
Not really, the technical aspect lang. It excites me, yung mga... tinatawag ito mga diversity and other, like, those why everything comes to an end, like example na. So I think ang gibuhat sa US is really a reflective na gibuhat ni Israel. Si Israel lamang siya existing na inana.
Which they funded.
Protected. Kay to the concept pod na nganong gibuhat si Israel na in the sense na ang iyang neighboring countries are not that good friend of him, di ba? So he tried to protect himself. Una siyang nasa mga Jericho missile, mga klase na inana. Iron Dome ang tawag na sila.
Iron Dome, yeah.
Iron Dome. So kanang sa US, I think murag preparatory lang po na in the aspect na ang China medyo dili sila friend.
Same og ano ba?
Level. Na sila
Vision.
opposition in the sense ba inana. Kumbaga sa trade war gani, sugdan na gani na no. But eventually that's the good thing. Na-settle down nila sa specific na agreement. So kana siya na funding natural lang na I think sa US kay superpower sila in the military aspect. Of course, ang trajectory nila is they will try to compete and outcompete other countries that are trying to grab sa ilahang current na scenario na silang superpower, and China is really going there. China is very karon, di ba? Powerful na kaya. Ang Navy pa lang niya halos nagpila ka 10 nag-X na ang kuan.
If I can remember, I believe yung president ng China in 2020 said this. In 2025 will be the most superpower country in the world. So it's not a joke, di ba? Nagparade sila with their nukes, not their nukes, their rockets, mga military and stuff like that in 2020. And now we're in June 1. Mid-year. So what are you gonna do, di ba?
Jed. Kung maingon ka na conflict is imminent, of course, ever since conflict is imminent. Mao ganin ang giingon ni Trump is na ang pinaka biggest threat is not global warming kundi nuclear war.
Exactly.
Okay, it will really wipe out the civilization kung kana mahitabo. Then kung tan-aw nimo kung unsa gyud siya kataas ang severity ana is ang kanisya na possibilities are at the hands of few people.
Diba?
President. Dakuan. So of course, we always pray na ang iyang thoughts na nasa iyang naga-circulate are really good and dili siya ma-misstep or what, something na misinterpretation, escalation, may na daghan kayong possibilities yun.
Grabe yung responsibility nila, no?
No, the whole responsibility. I mean, kumbaga humanity na, the level of humanity. And mo na siya, I think si Trump is really trying to escalate sa ilahang projection because nasa iyang concept ang America first. make
Right.
America great. It does not
Again.
mean industrial lang, military of course.
Yeah.
They have already. I think if I remember right, during the time of Trump, siya ang nag-create sa Space Force. Siya ang nag-onset na nanay
Yes,
Space Force.
yes.
Dapat na army ang US sa space.
Yes,
So motong medyo na-threaten ang Russia po dato na dapat kita po dana.
Which
diba?
also,
Maraginana.
they created a TV show,
Maginana.
Space Force, yun ang pangalan. Sila, Steve
Daghang mga
Carell.
meme na nakitawa ato. Pero actually, gibuhat gito niya. I mean, naagi
Yes.
ang Air Force murag na subsidize ang Space Force. Ang ilang mga expert rin uban na reallocate dito. So of course, kay naay instances na ang US space station mamilitarize, capable na mo deploy or mutabang sa kanang ginatawag nato na shield. Kana I think kanang shield
Yes.
is a trajectory from naval, land, air and space. Ang protection para kanang holistic na approach ba. Kaya kalaban nila ana is I think ang pagdaghan sa kanang ginatawag na ICBM, kanang intercontinental ballistic missile na kaya mo travel across the
Pero ang concern ko lang is, di ba, recent, in the past few months, Russia has this, hyper ballistic na mga missiles,
hypersonic sila.
hypersonic,
Iskander, I think ang basically
milliseconds na. Hindi na mahabol ng Iron
actually
Dome.
ang concept sa katong ilang hypersonic, sila gyud ang pinaka first I think na naka-built ana.
Grabe ka,
Pero
bilis.
ang kakuyaw niya is sa ihang pagka-hypersonic, kaya pa gyud mo redirect during naa sa iyang hyperspeed na scenario, which is nearly zero impossible na ma-intercept siya at the current
Yes.
defense system.
Kaya gani, ang naka-deploy pa naman doon is yung US na mga system, di ba?
Patriot missile mo man ilang
Oh, but
pinaka-
they
main
failed
kuan.
to prevent those missiles coming in.
Oo, niingon of course ang first maginana na statement is theoretical. Sa actually na-actualize na siya sa Ukraine-Russian war. Basically ang Ukraine, ang halos ang ginagamit nila na weapon karon is being pushed by Western countries and
Yes,
US
yes,
man ang supplier. So ang mga air defense nila na Patriot missile, katong Taad, tong na-release ba sila tong Taad, katong terminal kanang mulampas gyud sa stratosphere ang defense
Grabe, no?
niya ba. So kana makita ni murag gyud siya kung ang reflection man gud sa defense kuan kanang competition, mo siya reflection siya pun sa arms race sa AI ba. Karon si ChatGPT ang number 1 pag tan-aw na pud sa next year si Grok na pud ang niuna. Ana gina siya. Kumbaga walay ceiling in the sense kay na innovation matingala ka lampasan na pud niya. Ang isa sa mga mapuzzle juga actually kani mapuzzle juga. For example, kanang pinakakuyaw na billion-dollar asset sa US kanang F-35. Kana, mao man na ilang pinaka-stealth na kuan. Tingala ka kanang J-20 man ata sa China. Pare-pareha pug porma. Pero nakauna ang US ni catch up sila. So meaning ang arms race na
Even today, yung China na rocket na reusable, successfully the same with SpaceX.
Diba?
Nagawa na rin nila ngayon.
See,
But they're ahead of time. Ito, sige, let's have a bit of wrap up dito naman sa war topic. I think US is using AI to involve the soldiers to pair up with the AI machines. Diba? Let's say yung drones na ginagamit nila, ganyan, yung pag-autonomous ng kanilang military. China naman is, I think they have this kind of concept na parang Ender's Game na movie. They use AI, intelligized na paggamit ng AI is to predict if they can really beat a country. Kumbaga, simulation yung focus sa AI to predict planning, military war na mga planning, yun ang ginawa nila, strategic. And then Russia, I think they are using AI for more on cyber attacks. Kasi grabe talaga yung gina-jam nila yung mga, di ba? And then for I don't know, sa other countries, even for us, I don't have
follow na lang.
much update pa dito sa Pilipinas, but I believe we have invested some, I think $35 billion naman yung planned But wala masyado naka-focus dun yung AI. Which is, kumbaga, nade-delay tayo lagi ba?
Correct.
Ngayon, I want to talk about focus on AI. I was listening to this podcast, Joe Rogan and Carr. Kilala? Jimmy Carrey. Jimmy Carr,
Jimmy Carr?
the comedian.
Okay.
Yes, yung marami yung naghahakal sa kanya. Yung sa niya, sa mga shows niya. Now, tinanong siya, what's his perspective on AI?
Okay.
Siya isa sa mga pinakatao na unexpectedly
Na?
magbigay sa akin ng another angle. Ang sabi niya, it's like we are giving birth to another God.
Ganun
Damn!
Another God?
It's like we are giving birth to a God. Parang ganyan ba? Kasi ganun ka-powerful ang AI. Sobrang powerful niya. Di ba? That he could act like a God.
Okay. Siguro sa ako...
What's your reaction on that one?
Of course, automatically, sa line of my thinking, dili ko siya maka-equate yun sa God in the sense. Siguro basig figurative statement niya na above level sa human being.
Yes, yan.
Pero I really agree kay ako nagbuhat ko article na kanang hyper-intelligence yun nata sa age of hyper-intelligence na mo accelerate pa yun ni.
Di ba?
Na to the point na AI will teach AI to be more smarter.
Yes.
Dili na kailangan human intervention. Ang AI na itself sumunog mo amplify pag yun sa mo amplify pag yun ang
human 2.0. Actually, last year I was pushing for human intelligence, di ba? Sa DevCon natin mga talks. Sabi ko, invest in yourself by learning AI tools, learning shit like that. And then fourth quarter, I was thinking to myself like, okay, so people were replaced by AI. What can replace AI? Sabi ko, of course, AI pa rin. Kaya doon ako nag-start yung other people were using ChatGPT to handle multiple chats. Ako, nag-build na lang ako ng supervisor, which I demonstrated din dun sa nila. Kaso, I don't know if na-present ko pa talaga yung perfectly. But it's a supervisor AI that could command those AI employees.
Okay.
So doon ako. And then after ilang months na naman, nandiyan ay Manus, yung mga ibang So baga, it's hard to place ourselves ba? Kaya recently, sige akong post na about threat about AI kasi gusto ko mag-position. I'm not against it. No? I want to position myself in the future. Kasi nga, I think in the 2030 world, ibang-iba na ang world. Ibang-iba na yan. 5 years lang yan. Isipin mo, like, if you want to start a company, you don't need an R&D research company na anymore, di ba? A team. Kasi nga, AI can do deep research for you. Mga ganon. So, mathematicians, hindi mo na rin kailangan kasi they could create, you could use AI for it, di ba?
They have more computational power sa mga
Kaya nga sabi ko, I'm still thinking a lot these past few days and then in the next few weeks pa or months. Where do I position myself? Yun ang iniisip ko lagi. Kasi I want to protect my family, my community, you know. The Filipinos.
I think with regards to that, kung how do you position, like for example, sa community na to and sa industry, dili ta far sa AI na industry, so close ta na, na scenario. There would be, katuwen nagbuhat og article na these are both technology at their own kanang niche. Pero there will really come a time that there will be intersection between this both AI and blockchain, verifiable data for AI para
Shinare ko yun last year din. I was talking to this group of people sa Singapore and they were talking about Web 4. So sabi ko, ponost ko na lang rin yun. Sabi ko, these people want to use AI, IoT, and blockchain. All together, it will become Web 4. Hindi na siya Web 3. Whoa! It makes sense.
Makes sense.
It makes sense. Yan talaga ang next level ng internet.
Possible. Kaya ang AI is, like for example, the general context of AI can deep fix anything.
Right.
And blockchain can account and verify that. So there's really a big use case if ever maabot ang time mo. That's why, I always pitch out why some altman build WorldCoin on top of pag-build niya sa OpenAI.
Oo.
And I heard in a podcast na he personally asked Sam Altman actually. Dito ko na-amaze. Kaya niya siya, why did you build WorldCoin? Kasi gusto siya mo position ba? But it does not make sense. Scanning Irish for that. One word, because there will come a time that we cannot identify human and AI. And we need blockchain to do that. So, wow! That's big, that's deep. So, that's why
Diba?
buy din siya WorldCoin.
Tayo, we're just small fries, but we also need to think about it. Para tayo
Correct.
makaposition sa future.
Actually, on my end, I mean, there's a trajectory on the onsets, like sa industry, sa economics, every sector. Pero I'm really, ang worry ko is there sa military side. Kay karon
Kahit ano pang ginawa ng
there's a formation,
Doesn't
like for
make
example,
sense na, diba?
a national, a world norms or a world standard na AI should not be developed autonomously to harm human. Murag mo na ethics and standards sa kalibutan. But the problem with that is you cannot really control everyone. There will
May
really
access
come
din
time,
yung mga bad people
there
dyan
will really come time na that will be used and weaponized.
Right.
So imagine that like for example, yung the one I post about the current scenario between Ukraine and Russia. On the first early year of conflict with Russia and Ukraine, ang narrative is na-disseminate ni Ukraine ang Russia because of mga portable, mga manpads kanang mga portable missile gani. Meaning, pag portable man good, like for example, Javelin, very mobile ka. So, kaya ka maka-move. While ang mga kalaban nimo mga hardware, dali ra nimo sila ma-knockout. And totally makes sense na knockout kid nila. Mo ganitong wala na dayon ang pag-invade sa Kyiv, which is the capital of Ukraine. Now, but the problem with that, hantod karon nag-exist man Japan, nag-move forward 3 years na, nilahi na ang narrative karon. Kuan na drone. So ang giingon sa statistics, 70% of the casualties on the battlefield is caused by drone. Imagine that even gani daw sa uban mo abot og 80%.
And they're just 3% of their workforce. 3% pa lang, and then they want to achieve 25%.
Correct.
Ang amazing thing na initiative na doon, they use fiber optic. Hindi pwedeng Wi-Fi lang or signal. Hindi mo ma-jam yan, kay wired yan.
Correct.
Grabe ka galing.
Kuan pud sila, nagbuhat pud sila, ana po sila mura ginatawag na drone arms race na isig-isig og developay. Nagan ni mga instances nagipakita sa mostly magud sa Telegram gina-share ng kanang mga actual video. Kuan kanang heartbreaking, like for example kanang pag-abri sa kanang kinatawag nila kanang murag tank na makasakay og mga army, pag-abri musulod lang ang drone, wipe out tanan ang isa ka squad. Imagine that.
Grabe, no?
Maski musulod ka sa balay sunod kay katong drone is a kamikaze na mubuto to show in front of you. So meaning maski asa ka mo tago,
that's just a material.
So meaning karon kung in the context na inana ang gira, asa pa magkumutago?
Right?
Inana gani. So karon ang kaning mga drone is basically more on electronic warfare. So electronic base. What if masudlan nag-AI na siya kanang recognition, general face recognition or kanang nakabalo siya mo-identify kinsa ni ng mga tao niya, adtuon niya autonomous.
Ganito akong ingon pod nga that's why ang Russia naka-focus sa AI on cyber attacks. Kasi yun ang kalaban nila ngayon. Diba? They have to use it.
Gani. Nainana na siya. So, kuan siya kanang
kadami mong pag-isipan talaga.
I-sum out ko from life, fragile gid ang kinabuhi. Kanang ini-snap, pwede ka magkasakit, pwede ka maaksidente, or pwede ka maadto sa isa ka conflict sa leaders na magira inyong nasod. So ang imong probability of survivability gamay kayo, slim. Founded by technology, mas mutaas pa ang iyang attrition rate na paano mo kuan. So kana medyo makakulba in a sense, pero inani naman yun na naman ta diri sa inani na senaryo. So,
Damn.
let's do good na lang on our own niche. Sa makaya. In kaso maabot na time.
Sige. Final thoughts na gusto mo i-share or we're good?
I think mo na to ay siguro sa akong side, sa Davao DeFi community, we will going to still to continue what we're doing now. For 2025 gusto na mo lagi, we're really hoping to do Mindanao wide. And kato na hopefully as much as possible makakonekta, makataptag man sa klaseng taong ordinaryo na malay mo na yung mga mo gawas dira.
Dili pagka matapog alien, gusto ka.
Tignan alien daw
Ato naka-deep ba? Sige, blockchain ta sa
sa
inyong life.
ilang nasod. Pero I think alien will may i-downplay na niya. Blockchain pa mo? Kami lahi nami.
Marami akong question dyan. Kaya topic ka rin pala ng alien, ha? Sige. For the next podcast.
So next na lang. Pero definitely, bitaw, thank you sa imuhang pagkuhan.
Thank you.
Of course, we've been a friend of Cade Guild, Sir Mark, among community. Daghan po big na kunan. And exciting times. Exciting times. There is sa Davao DeFi, sa Mindanao, na hopefully by more years, ma-expand pa ang community with our collaboration.
Amazing. Yeah, there are a lot of things na may opportunity rin nagdating na we could share to build this community. And then, yeah, ako naman, exciting times yung kanya. Akin naman, I'd like to say this always. No? What a great time to be alive.
Correct.
What
Agree.
a great time to be alive.
Woo!
In this timeline, na-witness natin everything.
Cheers to that.
Diba? Cheers. Thank you. Bye-bye.